Welcome back to the Sunday Business Page.
The Pittsburgh area is often on the cutting edge of scientific and medical technology, and a company in Ross Township is another success story. Clear-Count Medical Solutions Incorporated was founded in 2004. It's making great strides in improving hospital patient safety. One of Clear-Count's major goals was to commercialize a detection device that would prevent surgical sponges used during an operation from inadvertently being left inside a patient. CEO David Palmer recently received the Carnegie Science Center's 2009 Startup Entrepreneur Award for Clear-Count's work on the Smart Sponge System. This unusual device relies on both detection and a high-tech chip placed inside the surgical sponges, which is monitored before and after surgery. David Palmer joins us now on the Sunday Business Page to tell us more about the Smart Sponge System and how local investors help to make all of this come true. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's great to have you here. And, you know, this is something that a lot of folks do worry about if they're going in for surgery. This is a surgical sponge, I take it.
That's correct.
How often does it get left inside a patient?
Well, John, actually the published data states that 1 in every 1,500 intra-abdominal surgeries results in a retained surgical sponge.
That's far more frequent than should ever happen.
That's correct. And one of the primary reasons is currently it is a manual process that is involved in reconciling the counts for surgical sponges.
In other words, the technicians, the nurses, the folks who are there, even the doctors, they actually literally just count up how many of these things they had to start with?
That's correct.
And whether they have them at the end?
That's correct. And it is primarily the nurse's role in the operating room to perform those counts.
And how are you changing that?
Well, what we are doing is automating what is now a manual process. And we're utilizing RFID technology, or radio frequency identification, to do that. And what we can do through our technology is assure the nursing staff and the operating personnel that they have an accurate count at the end of a surgical case.
And this is the chip. It's a tiny little chip. It's smaller than, it's smaller than a dime.
That's correct.
That actually gets put into these surgical sponges. Is that how it works?
That's correct.
And in fact, if I can hold this up, I can actually feel it. It's right at the corner of the surgical sponge, right where my finger, oops, let's get this again, right about there. That is where this chip would be placed in the surgical sponge?
That's correct.
And so what happens next?
Sure. Every sponge is manufactured with one of those chips inside of it. The sponges are then programmed with a unique identifier. So that is what allows us to count each individual sponge.
You know, it seems like such a easy idea, and yet it takes a lot of effort to really commercialize this, and that's what Clear-Count has done through your work.
True. I mean, truly, we have a fabulous team at Clear-Count Medical Solutions. We had great founders in the company back in 2004. I joined the company in 2006, and we worked on this commercialization effort.
Well, tell me about the Pittsburgh connection. Now, I know you're a graduate. You've got your master's from Carnegie Mellon University. You went to West Virginia University for undergrad. Are the financiers, are the people behind this, are they Pittsburgh folks too?
We have a number of angel investors that are Pittsburgh-based. We also have Draper Ventures, who is also a Pittsburgh-based venture capital firm.
Right. And so you needed, I take it, when this company started, you needed that local investment in order to make what I assume is going to be a nationally used product?
That's correct. We definitely needed that support. We also had the support from Innovation Works, the Pittsburgh Life Sciences Greenhouse, and Idea Foundry as well, all played a part in the company's formation as well as financing.
And tell me about, David, how this is going. You're in the process of selling this to hospitals across America?
That's correct. We introduced the product last year in mid-2008, and we actually went live with our first hospital in the beginning of April.
In the beginning of this month?
That's correct.
Wow. Now, will this be something that every hospital, I should think every hospital would want?
Well, we would hope so. It is one way that technology can help in preventing retained surgical sponges, and what we refer to as never events.
Never events. Yeah, they should never happen because they can lead to infection and real serious problems for the patient. Now, I have to ask you about this because I have seen these reports where it's not just surgical sponges, but you see these wild stories of knives, I guess scalpels and scissors or instruments, you know, metal stuff being left inside people. Can you do anything about that problem?
That's actually what we're working on right now. That's a great question. Our next product will involve surgical instruments. And we are in the process working through an NIH-supported grant to find a solution for tracking and identifying surgical instruments.
How will you do that? Because are you going to put a chip inside a scalpel or something?
There will be a two-step process. One will be affixing a chip to an existing instrument, and then the second step would be incorporating the chip in the actual manufacturing process of the instruments themselves.
Well, we sure wish you well on that. Final question, we only have a few seconds. How many folks do you employ? I know you're a new company and you're getting up started.
Sure, we have 20 people currently.
Great. All in the Pittsburgh area?
All in the Pittsburgh area.
And do you hope to expand soon?
We are looking to expand our sales force in 2009, yes.
I know we have a website. If folks want to know more about this particular product, they can go to your website, and hopefully if they're interested in a job there, you'd take a resume?
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, David, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate that. This is fascinating. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
This is such an important product, and we appreciate the work you've done. And congratulations, too, on that award.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back with more of the Sunday Business Page in just a few moments. Stick with us.